All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Top 25 by Damo. Man, I said it was going to be a boring week, and it was anything but, right? Had some huge upsets going on. Some people survived. People with bye weeks were glad to have bye weeks because the last 3 weeks you've just been surviving. So let's see how our top 25 fared. Let's get ready to check the AP poll and maybe see where we think some of these teams are going to end up in the college football playoffs. Okay, let me see what we got here. So we started out Oregon versus Michigan. Oregon took down Michigan 38-17. Miami took down Duke 53-31. BYU was on bye. So as far as our top three, we're good. As far as 4 and 5, we are not good. So Penn State lost to Ohio State 13-20. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put these teams right here on 21 and 25. Don't worry about their actual spot right now, though. But we're gonna need them later. Because once again, there's like nobody outside the top 25 to put into the top 25. There's like a couple teams. Other than that, a lot of these teams are just gonna fall down, and it's just gonna be worse positioning for them. Okay, so Penn State and Iowa State. Penn State lost 13-20. Iowa State lost to Texas Tech 23-22. And that loss looks way worse. I mean, Penn State's is at least a good loss. Iowa State's is a terrible loss. But good thing for Iowa State, they've only got one conference loss. I think they're still. I think they're still in the lead. Actually, let me check. Because it could be Colorado. I forget, Colorado only has one conference loss. It's BYU and Colorado tied. I don't know what the tiebreaker is in uh in the Big 12. Because what I thought was happening was, okay, I thought it was Iowa State loses to Kansas State still plays Iowa State later on in the season. So I thought it was if Iowa State wins, they're in. If Kansas State wins, Colorado's in. But I'm not sure it's like that. Colorado might control their own destiny. Okay. Next up, we had Indiana. Indiana got the win. Beat Michigan State 47-10. Just absolutely putting beat downs on these Big Ten teams. I'm just gonna spoiler alert you guys. We're moving these guys up to 4. After that, we had Georgia. Georgia was Georgia took down Florida 34-20. My bad. Another spoiler alert. We're gonna go ahead and move Georgia up. Ohio State beat Penn State 20-13. Ohio State's gonna go ahead and move up. Clemson lost to Louisville. Louisville's actually a good team, but bad loss for Clemson. Clemson really needed to win that. One second. So Clemson's going to join our top 10 teams that have fallen. We'll just go ahead and put them right down here with Penn State and Iowa State. Boise State took down San Diego State. So Boise State's moving on up. Okay, now I kind of need to check before we move anybody. I think Texas will move up as well. Yeah, Texas was on bye. Still 7-1. Good week to have a bye. Real good week to have a bye. Although I'm pretty sure they play Florida coming up, so we'll see if Florida did lose their quarterback, so Texas should win. But Florida's been giving people fights, and they've honestly come back alive since they died at the beginning of the season. Okay, Pitt lost to SMU. So okay, with the combination of Pitt didn't just lose to SMU though; they got destroyed by SMU. They lost 25-48. It really wasn't even that close. SMU just destroyed Penn State, and now it looks like SMU's on the inside track in the ACC. So if SMU wins out and Miami wins out, that's going to be our ACC matchup. And also, our chances of getting multiple ACC teams in are, we could still get two. Like, I think SMU and Miami have a really good chance of both going. I don't really see Pitt or Clemson getting back in the conversation. Okay, after that, Tennessee won. Tennessee beat Kentucky 28-18. It was a little close there for a while, but Tennessee pulled it out in the end. Another loser, Kansas State. So this is BYU's best win still, I think. No, BYU's best win is now SMU. But Kansas State has still been solid this year, but they did take an L to Houston. Bad. I don't know about that. That's a real bad L. If you're losing to Houston, Houston lost to OU, so like, and it's just not a good combo. That's not a good combo. That's not what you want to see out of Kansas State. And now Kansas State, I think, has thrown their chances of making the Big 12 championship and possibly even the playoffs. Because if they win against Iowa State at the end of the year, like before, it would have been Kansas State going definitely over Colorado because they would have the head-to-head tiebreaker. But now Kansas State, even if they beat Iowa State, is just going to help Colorado, a team they already beat, get in. That's the good thing about Colorado only having one conference loss, whereas Kansas State now has two. Okay, next up, Notre Dame was on bye, so I guess Notre Dame's going to be in our top 10. Oh my god, what have we done? And I can't just keep moving these teams up because there are some of these that are going to fall in around this area, so some of this might be a lie. Actually, most of this is all not a lie so far. Kansas State lost. A&M lost to South Carolina. Hey guys, 8-4 is still on the menu. 8-4 is still a real possibility for Texas A&M. So don't count out the Aggies and their chances to let down their whole entire fan base. Notre Dame was on bye. Good for Notre Dame. Notre Dame's right there behind Tennessee. Yep. Okay. SMU with a dub. So SMU has put themselves on the inside track after knocking off Pitt. Should be them versus Miami in the ACC championship game. And I could see both of these teams making the playoffs. I really I think this top 12 is going to be pretty much our playoff contenders, although there's going to be one or two that end up losing, and maybe one of these two lost teams behind them gets put in their place, but we'll see. Washington State was on bye. We're just going to go ahead and leave Washington State right here for a second. Army won against Air Force 20-3, so Army keeps on trucking. Alabama was on bye. LSU was on bye. Illinois, another loser, and not a good loss. Not a good loss either. Illinois is sliding down here. Lost to Minnesota 25-17. Now Minnesota's on like a bad team, but Illinois had kind of like separated themselves. They were like better than the bad schools in the Big Ten, but they're worse than the really good schools. Like all their losses so far have been to, I think, top 25 teams. They lose to. Let me go check it real fast. I think they've lost like Ohio State, Penn State. I know they lost to Penn State. Illinois football. Okay, let's go check out who Illinois has lost to. Minnesota, Oregon, Penn State. Okay, yeah, so they had only lost to Oregon and Penn State. So with Minnesota upsetting them, it's kind of like kind of messing with how I'm perceiving the Big Ten. Mainly, I'm thinking Minnesota's probably a better school right now. They both have 3 losses, although Illinois has way better losses, but Minnesota's got the head-to-head matchup. But spoiler alert, Illinois is probably not making the top 25. Ole Miss. Ole Miss beat Arkansas 63-31. Missouri was on bye, and Vandy beat Auburn 17-7. Okay, so that's gonna do it for all the losses. So we lost Penn State lost, Iowa State lost, Clemson lost, Pitt lost, Kansas State lost, A&M lost, and Illinois lost. And I would call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these upsets. I think Pitt and SMU, like that could have gone either way, and same for Penn State and Ohio State. So those two weren't necessarily bad losses, but everybody else here, those are real bad losses right here at the end of the season. Okay, now let's go check how that affected our top 25. So we got Oregon number 1. Yep, that's right. We've got Miami number 2. Oregon's taking on Maryland. Miami's taking on Georgia Tech. BYU is going to enter the Holy War number 3 for me. Although they're actually going to start using the college football top 25 this week. Georgia is number 5. Georgia is taking on Ole Miss. So if Ole Miss loses, they are also pretty much out of the playoff conversation. Georgia can still lose and make the playoffs. Boise State. Wait, no, Ohio State number 6, and they've got to win. They've got a game against Purdue. Spoiler makers. Sorry, no, it's not number 2, Ohio State. Boise State is at number 7, taking on Nevada. Texas, number 8, taking on Florida. And Texas better be careful there. Florida has not looked bad. Although, if Florida's quarterback's not playing, I think Texas should pretty much whoop Florida. Tennessee, number 9, versus Mississippi State. I like Tennessee there. And Tennessee is back in the top 10. And it's looking like, as far as the SEC is concerned, I know A&M lost, but they've only got the 1 conference loss, so pretty much it's still the same scenario. Tennessee wins. They're in Georgia. Them and Georgia have the spots they're fighting over, and Texas and A&M have a spot that they're fighting over. So even though A&M has a horrible loss this week, it really doesn't do much. Because if A&M wins out, they're still in. Now, if A&M loses another game, if they lose to Texas, they're not going to the playoffs. 9, Tennessee versus Mississippi State. Notre Dame is taking on Florida State. It would be cool if Florida State could upset them, but I don't see it happening. SMU, number 11, on bye. And SMU's only loss so far is to BYU. Penn State, okay. Penn State is going to be right here at number 12. And if you want to know why, what's my reasoning here? Because their best win, I think, is over Illinois. I could probably drop them further. But I think the committee would take them over Washington State. And actually, Washington State is not going to move above number 13 right here. I'm going to reserve my 12 for playoff teams. And Washington State, unless a bunch of other people lose multiple more games, I don't think the committee is going to... They're going to devalue them based on their strength of schedule. So I think number 13 is about as high as they can get. Although they could still make the playoffs. It's not necessarily out of the realm of possibility. But they would need like Penn State to get upset. They would need they would need some upsets in this top 12 right here. Because I think if Indiana loses, they're still above Washington. Washington State. Army gonna be right there behind Washington State. Pretty much same for Army. Although Army can get in if they can take down Notre Dame. So if Army can win out, they can take Notre Dame's spot, I think. At least in my mind. So I do think Army has a path to the playoffs where Washington State doesn't. Does that mean I should put Army above them, above Washington State? Maybe. I don't know. But we're going to leave them right here at 14 for now. Okay, next up we've got Pitt. Okay, so Pitt didn't fall too far, even though they got destroyed by SMU. They still only have 1 loss. Now they are not going to be ranked this high in the college football rankings. These three, I think, will all be kind of pushed down into the 20s, so that way there can be some chaos, and the committee doesn't have to worry about moving them up too much. Um, so we've got Pitt, and then we will put Iowa State right here. And Iowa State probably should have fallen further too, but they're still in play for the Big 12 championship. So if they can win the Big 12 championship, they can make it into the playoffs. If they don't win the Big 12 title, though, they're not making it into the playoffs. And the chances of the Big 12 getting two teams are now 0. I guess if Iowa State beat BYU, then maybe we could get two Big 12 teams in, but I think the possibility is really, really low. Right after that, we've got Alabama and LSU, and Alabama plays. Wait, LSU missed some games. So Penn State play. Actually, no. SMU's on bye. Penn State plays Washington. Washington State plays Utah State. Army plays North Texas, and Pitt plays Virginia. Virginia's been okay. I mean, they're not super good, but they've been okay. Iowa State's facing Kansas, and Alabama is facing LSU this week. So one of these teams is going to get knocked out of playoff contention. The other will still be very much alive. If there's one 2-loss team that gets in, it will be probably the winner of these two. Wait, I've actually got Texas A&M right here, sandwiched in between Alabama and LSU, because they still have the win over LSU, and Texas A&M is on bye this week. I would say they need it. Ole Miss, we're gonna move Ole Miss right here to number 20. Missouri, gonna be 21. Ole Miss is taking on Georgia, so goodbye, Ole Miss playoff hopes. And Missouri is playing Oklahoma, so Oklahoma could knock off Missouri's playoff chances. Although Missouri doesn't have playoff chances, I'm not gonna lie. Missouri has 0 shot of getting into the playoffs. Just the reality of it. Next up, we'll put Clemson right there. We'll put Kansas State right there. Clemson takes on Virginia Tech, and should Clemson be this high? No, but I guess if SMU lost, they could still get into the ACC championship. We'll put Vandy right here, and Illinois is going to be the only team that actually falls out of the top 25. So we're going to put Illinois down there, and they actually fell far for me, because I don't think you can make a good argument that Minnesota shouldn't be ahead of them now. So we are going to add Colorado. Colorado is finally back in the top 25. I guess they might control their own destiny now. I'm not sure how it works here with that Iowa State and Colorado. Although Iowa State's got a tougher game. I would rather have Colorado scheduled than have to play Kansas State if I was trying to make the Big 12 championship. So I'm like 100% certain that our 12 playoff teams are in the top 25. I am almost 100% positive. There are a couple teams that are not necessarily eliminated. Those teams are Syracuse at 6-2. They're taking on Boston College this week. ULL. I don't like ULL's chances here, but we can't. They're the Raging Cajuns, right? ULL. Yep, the Raging Cajuns. So if they can win out and a bunch of chaos can happen, I could see a situation where Louisiana Lafayette gets a spot. But it's highly unlikely because Washington State would be going over them. So they would need mass chaos to happen. Same for Syracuse. UNLV. UNLV should actually get another shot at Boise here at the end of the season. Where's UNLV? Right down here. And then everything after that has 0 playoff chances. If you are not 28 and up, you're not going to the playoffs. You still got plenty of games to play for, like Louisville. Louisville's going to be right here for me. Oh, wait, no. I was actually going to be right above them. I was going to be right there. Louisville's going to be right here. I was taking on UCLA. Louisville is on bye. Then I got like Minnesota. So right here, I don't think it matters at this point. None of these teams are. None of these teams after UNLV are making the playoffs. There is no way. Now Tulane. Tulane is actually pretty far down for me. But they still have a shot. So they are a potential playoff team. But they actually aren't. But if they won out, they would play Army, and maybe if they won that Army game, that's still not happening. Having 2 losses, it's just gonna keep them out. Yeah, and right here I would have South Carolina above Minnesota. Where is South Carolina? They're somewhere around here. Does it even matter? Does anybody even care? Okay. Then we got Cincy. Arizona State, I guess. I don't know. Where is Arizona State? Right here. And then you get into Washington, Illinois. So that's how far Illinois fell for me. They fell all the way down here, which would be number 37. Then we'll go ahead and do Duke and Navy. Where is Navy? Right there. All right, so those are the teams. That is 15 to or 25, 26 to 40. My bad. Once again, I think these 4 are and actually Tulane. Tulane is not 26 to 40. I just think Tulane actually has a chance to get in the playoffs where none of these teams do. I guess Duke possibly could. They've only got 2 losses, but I don't see it happening. But these 3 have a very, very outside chance as well. I don't think Syracuse can either. UNLV's not. They can't. I mean, this top 25 is going to be it's going to be one of these teams. But all right, that's going to do it for my top 25. Let's go take a look at the AP poll, see what they got going on. I imagine, I don't know, they might have had some shakeups just because so many people lost, but there's like, you're looking down at these other teams and you're like, who would I possibly like raise up? Oh wait, let me get a screenshot real quick. Okay, let's go check the AP top 25. AP top 25. I am curious to see where they have everybody this week, or if we've got some differences now. Okay, Oregon number 1, Georgia number 2, Ohio State number 3. Damn, the disrespect for Miami. Miami number 4. Disrespect for Indiana and BYU. Texas number 5, although it doesn't matter. Like the top 4 doesn't matter at all now because the top 4 will be the top 4 college conference champions. So, BYU wins out there number 4, or 3 or 2 or 1. It doesn't matter. Clearly, they're probably gonna be number 4 if the college football top 25 is anything like the AP poll. But Miami number 4, Texas at number 5, Penn State at 6, Tennessee at 7. I think Tennessee's got better wins than Penn State does, but that's just me. Indiana at 8. Also, I don't see how you can have Penn State above Indiana when Indiana has a chance to make the Big Ten championship game. So Indiana wins out and they're in. All you got to do is beat Ohio State, and you're going to be headed to probably the college football playoffs and the Big Ten championship. Although I'm probably still leaning Ohio State there, but this looks like a different kind of Indiana team, so let's not count them out yet. BYU at 9, Notre Dame at 10, Alabama at 11, and Boise State at 12. So, okay, according to the AP poll, this would be our top 12. And I guess they're assuming that SMU loses the SEC, or the ACC championship game. To be honest, I think Alabama's the one on the outside looking in here. I would put them right here behind SMU, but I think other than that, our top 12 is pretty much the same. And you know, it is Alabama, so they're of course going to get extra votes. So SMU 13, LSU at 14, A&M at 15. I love how A&M's already behind LSU, even though they beat LSU. Ole Miss at 17. Where do I have Ole Miss at? 20. Pretty much the same. They put Louisville in. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Who did I not take out? I don't know. We'll have to see. So then we've got Iowa State, which is right around where I've got them, 16. Army number 18. Damn, they hate America. 19, we've got Clemson, and you can already see Washington State, at least as far as the AP poll is concerned, is behind a ton of two-loss teams. So that perception is not going to help them when it comes to getting into the playoffs. Although they're only losses to Boise State, who's only losses to Oregon. So, I mean, they really don't have a bad loss. I think Boise State is going to be one of our 12 playoff teams, barring some wild upset. But I mean, after this week, I wouldn't count it out. I mean, there were a ton of upsets. This was a good week to watch college football. I live for the upsets. Anyways, we've got Colorado at 21, Kansas State at 22, which I've got Kansas State at 23. Pitt at 20. Wait. Kansas State at 22, Pitt at 23, which. Where is Pitt for me? Number 16. Yeah, Pitt didn't really fall that far for me. Vanderbilt 6-3, and then we've also got Louisville at 6-3. Okay, and I've got Louisville just on my outside looking in. Missouri. Okay, Missouri. Why? Why did Missouri fall out of the top 25? They were here last week, right? Yeah, because me and the AP poll had it exactly the same, minus Colorado. Okay, the Missouri thing makes no sense. Why would they leave the top 25? They were on bye. Nothing happened this weekend. Louisville looked that good that we've got to get them in the top 25, I guess. South Carolina, Tulane, UNLV, ULL, Washington, Arizona State, Iowa, Texas Tech. Okay, yep. This section, the receiving votes section, is just as hopeless as I thought it was. Tulane, UNLV, ULL, Missouri does not have playoff hopes. And none of these guys do either. Okay, so as far as the AP poll is concerned, I don't see why Missouri lost, got left out, but other than that, I think it's pretty good. I also meant to do a college football playoff ranking video. I never had time for it. But as far as how my top 25, I think it's going to go this week, it'll probably be Georgia right here at 2. It'll probably be just like the AP poll. We'll have Georgia and Ohio State. Actually, I don't know. I think the committee might see things my way. But I could definitely see them having Georgia and Ohio State up here at 2 and 3. Although I don't think Ohio State should be above Indiana. They're definitely all going to be ranked above BYU. Especially now that Kansas State's lost. Just BYU really needed that. Well, I mean, BYU still got the win over SMU, so they've still got something to hang their hat on. And the Kansas State loss is not bad by any means, or win is not bad by any means, but I just don't see the committee valuing it. But I think it could be something like this. I do think the committee will have Oregon at number 1 for sure. I think they'll also respect Miami. I don't know though. Miami has no wins. Georgia's got some really solid wins. Something like this. I don't know though. I think these teams are going to be in your top 12. Like Penn State, SMU, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Texas, Boise, Ohio State, Georgia, Indiana, BYU, Miami, and Oregon. And I think if they win out, they are all in. Now the problem here is these two play each other. These two play each other. I think even if Tennessee loses that game, that Tennessee is in. So I think Georgia, even if they lose that game, they are in. Notre Dame could lose a game. If Notre Dame loses another game, they're going to lose their spot. I think we could see both the ACC teams getting in. Who would be left out in this scenario? Alabama, a 2-loss team, or a 2-loss A&M? Colorado also has a chance to make the playoffs. So they're the furthest down team that like has a real chance. Because if they just win out now, I guess it's going to come down to them and Iowa State and the Big 12 tiebreakers. But either way, if you're in the top 12, win and you're in. Even though Penn State lost, I don't think it's really going to matter. I think they'll still be top 12 because their only loss is to Ohio State, who is a top 6 team, who's only lost to Oregon. So I'm really thinking this is going to be our playoff finalists. But then there's still room for error. A&M could beat Texas. This is an elimination game between Alabama and LSU. So yeah, I mean I don't know. That's what I'm thinking for the top 25 this week. Pretty crazy week of college football, to be honest. I was not expecting anything wild to happen, and then it was just loss after loss after loss after loss. So that just shows you that even when you think you're even when you think you're doing you got a boring week coming up. You never know. And there's no super huge matchups this week. Like the Alabama LSU is probably the biggest matchup this week. But other than that, it's kind of like last week. Nobody's really taking on anybody that really matters. Ole Miss versus Georgia matters. But that doesn't matter because one of these teams can go lose to nobody state and put themselves right out of the playoff conversation and open up the window for all these 2-loss teams, because that's what all these 2-loss teams need. They need somebody else in front of them to lose. Oh, what did I just do? Yeah, okay, keep that there. Alrighty, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I might do something for the reveal. I might go live or something for the reveal of the college football top 25. But thank you guys all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will catch you next week. Oh yeah, please like and subscribe.